Did you know that there actually isn't one good posture? That idea is super outdated, like from the 16th century outdated, when they used to evaluate a soldier's posture by how upright they could stand in line. It also has ties to some sort of moral code that being able to stand upright was somehow seen as a higher class and slouching was considered lazy or not as good. There's also this idea that at one point, because we evolved from not being upright to now being upright, that we are sort of always fighting this idea that we should be slouched over. This video is going to talk about all the ways that you no longer have to worry about any of those things. Let's dive in. So the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this video is capacity. Does your body have the capacity, the ability to be able to move into as many different positions as you're able to? So oftentimes people think that good posture is that sort of shoulders pulled back, chest forward, roughly vertical spine. But the trouble is they usually only are focused on that shoulders back, which creates a lot of other imbalances throughout the rest of the spine. And by pulling your shoulders back, being able to retract your scapulae, so being actually able to slide them backwards. If you were to look at me from the side, right? Protraction and retraction. You can try it with me now. You literally could be standing or seated and go ahead and pull the shoulders forward and then pull them back without moving any of the rest of the spine. So I'm not bowing backwards. That's thoracic extension coming into a slight baby back bend, which is also really good. We want the spine to be able to do that, but it is different than scapular retraction, pulling the scaps back. And then you could even also pull them down. That's typically what people mean when they say pull your shoulders out of your earlobes, is scapular depression. So dragging the shoulders down, feeling like you're trying to get your armpit down towards your hip and pulling the scaps back. That's great. There's literally nothing wrong with it. And also, the body should also be able to do the opposite, protraction forward, not rounding over. That's different. That's thoracic flexion, but just the shoulder blades, and then just the shoulder blades back, and then scapular elevation all the way up, right? We often say pull your shoulders out of your earlobes, which is good. And also you need the ability to also be able to lift your shoulders up. And so just like you want to pull the shoulders back and sort of come into a taller vertical spine, you also need the ability to be able to pull forward. So let's talk about the one little trick that can help create that line. Modern life has us looking at a screen anywhere from 4 hours to more than 7. I would argue it's more than 7. If you're on your phone, you're on your computer for work, and then you're looking at a TV screen maybe later in the evening or sometime later in the day, that is definitely more than 7 hours. But regardless, the numbers that I could find from the research show anywhere from 4 hours to more than 7 hours per day. And most oftentimes people are using their screens with this forward head positioning. So the trick to get back into something more like alignment is to pull your jaw in. To imagine as if you were trying to almost take your jawbone and drag it into your head, into your neck. Now, obviously, you're not going to walk around like that for the vast majority of the day. But when you are doing something where you're sitting on your computer or you're on your phone, can you think about pulling the jaw in? Now, the trick is to make sure that that then doesn't become the new shoulders back, right? Being able to pull your jaw in almost instantly helps to line up everything else. So the jaw comes in and the shoulders come down and slightly back. And even a piece that people often forget is the bottom of the rib cage. So we tend to sort of flare forward, tilting the pelvis out, and the ribs also flare out, pulling the jaw in. Take that all the way down and pull the bottom of your rib cage in, straight into your torso, not folding over. You may need to fold over a couple of times to be able to feel that sensation, but this sensation that you're able to create when you are folded over should also be able to be created in a slightly more lengthened position with a vertical spine. So that's it. That's the trick, this jaw in. Now, let's talk about that we also want, just as I said in the beginning of the video, we want the capacity to be able to do all of it. So technically, this jaw forward position is not horrible. Your body can do it. The brain has the ability to contract the musculature to be able to send the bones into that space. Great. The problem is we end up spending 4 to 7 hours in that position or fairly close to it. So you want to practice both. Can you draw all the way back? And can you fold all the way forward or pull all the way forward? Notice I'm trying really hard not to come forward in my shoulders. So if I switch again to a sideways view, that forward head position, I'm fighting my own body, right? I want to just do this. This feels a lot better. And also, I need this musculature in the neck and the upper torso to be able to understand how to do it alone and then how to do it alone, going backwards in the opposite direction. The same thing is true for the shoulders, like we talked about at the beginning, and then the same thing is true for the spine. Yes, we all spend a lot of time seated. Most of us spend a lot of time seated, and usually seated in a position that looks something like this, spinal flexion. There's nothing wrong with that. If your spine did flex, you'd be in a lot more trouble than if you were only sitting vertical, right? We want that spinal flexion. And also, can you have spinal extension, either globally throughout the whole entire spine or throughout different pieces? Here's another fun trick. This is a little bonus for you. So if you sit in a chair so this chair would not be good, it's too tall. But if you sit in a chair, I'm gonna imagine like there was a perfect chair behind me. Desk chairs are usually like this, where you can pull the small of your back into that seated space. So the small of the back is not arcing forward, it's filling out, right? I'm taking the deepest layer of abdominals and contracting that muscle so that the pelvis starts to neutralize and tilt slightly backwards. So that space is locked out. Now, from that space, can you move into a baby back bend? So you're not allowed to arc into the low back. Only move, say, from the middle of your ribcage, or sort of like the bottom of your ribcage, a couple inches below your armpit, and bow back from that space. So the whole entire time, as you're creating that little baby back bend, you're making sure to still keep those deeper abdominals fully engaged, and then bow back from that, and then draw the jaw in. Interesting, right? Now, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that you should try to walk around like that. It looks like a rod up the back of your body, which we are not interested in doing. And it is interesting to make sure that you can bring your body into that position. That is the name of the game. There is no such thing as one good posture, and everybody should just be walking around like this. We're not robots. The idea is that your body, your brain, needs to be able to have the capacity to do all of it. Full flexion, all the way over, fold over. Full extension, open up, bow back. Shoulders up, shoulders down, shoulders forward, shoulders back, neck forward, neck back. All of it, and to be able to hang there for a few moments so that you can make sure that the body is fully engaged and able to stay in that space. If this was helpful, I would love for you to stick around, hit that subscribe button, and let me know what you think of this video. Bye.